We've been talking a lot about LinkedIn this year, and it is definitely a strategy that I am jumping all in on this year. So I've been so excited to have so many experts coming on to talk about so many different areas of LinkedIn. And today we're talking about video, repurposing content, kind of a whole variety of things, but creative ways that you can get more visibility when it comes to LinkedIn and how you're reaching new audiences, growing your base, and communicating with the people that are ideal donors, customers, clients, whatever, partners, collaborators. So my guest today is Peter Murphy-Lewis. Peter Murphy-Lewis is the innovative founder of strategicpete.com and a respected fractional chief marketing officer, skilled in turning complex marketing data into actionable strategies that boost revenue and growth. His expertise spans diverse sectors, including software, travel, media, zoos, and banks. As a host of 2 TV shows and producer of a documentary, Peter combines a strategic marketing storytelling flair. Living with his family in a literal zoo, he is trusted advisor for CEOs seeking to streamline marketing efforts and accelerate business outcomes. There's so much goodness that he drops, so many great resources, some tips that I even got right out of the gate for something that I'm considering as I move forward with my LinkedIn strategy. So I know that you are going to get some good stuff from this episode. So take a listen and maybe come back to it a few times as you start to escalate your LinkedIn strategy. Before we get into it, though, this episode is brought to you by our free resources at The First Click. You can go to thefirstclick.net/resources and grab so many different freebies that we have from your website, email marketing to social media, mindset, tech tools, all of the above. Grab the one that works the best for what you need right now to solve the problem for where you're stuck. Again, you can find all of those at thefirstclick.net/resources and shoot me an email, hello@thefirstclick.net. I'd love to hear what resource was most valuable to you and what resources might be valuable to you in the future. For now, let's get into the episode. You're listening to the Digital Marketing Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Bedell-Mulhern. Each month, we dive deep into a digital marketing or fundraising strategy that you can implement in your organization. Each week, you'll hear from guest experts, nonprofits, and myself on best practices, tips, and resources to help you raise more money online and reach your organizational goals. Hey, friends, please join me in welcoming Peter Murphy-Lewis to the podcast. Peter, thanks for being here.
Excited.
Yeah, this is going to be so fun. LinkedIn is the thing I'm most excited about really making the most of in 2025. So I'm really excited for this conversation. But why LinkedIn for you? Why is it a platform that you find valuable to organizations?
I like it both for myself, for my clients, for the nonprofit that I'm on the board of, is because it is a place where I can search for the person's name, for the company they work in, their job title, the targeted way that I can find my ideal customer profile, or if it's just a person who's going to help me grow my reach, or a person I can help, which therefore makes my brand stronger, is really easy to do. And I know if you're listening to this and you're new to LinkedIn, it may feel like it's not, but with about 2 hours of work, you can move from like a D+ LinkedIn discover person to like an A-, right? Like the difference between I've spent more than 100 hours in the last 2 years of skilling myself up. And the difference between me as what I would say like an A or an A+ LinkedIn person and what you can be as an A-, like you can move in 2 hours up to what took me to do in all of this time. So like, don't be afraid.
Yeah, I love that because it is such a searchable tool, a discoverable tool. And I know we've had guests in the past that have talked about how the beauty of it is you don't have to be a content creator to have success on LinkedIn because there's such a variety of ways that you can use it. And so we're talking about video and repurposing, but before we kind of jump into that, what is maybe your favorite feature or what you love the most as you're using LinkedIn on a day-to-day? What feature are you using the most?
I use automation tools to do automated connections, both for myself and for clients. So let me explain that, assuming that there's a couple of people who don't know what I mean. There are simple tools that cost less than $20 a month that you can put a list into that of everybody that you potentially want to connect with. So you don't have to do any of that manually. And LinkedIn is very comfortable with you connecting anywhere between 15 to 30 people per day. And you just tell this tool to do that. So while you're sleeping, this tool is connecting for you. So that's the first tool. The second tool, I love the newsletter. I create newsletters for all of my clients. I personally have had multiple newsletters, and newsletters is a great way for you to repurpose what you're doing on your website, what you're doing on your Facebook page, what you're doing in your email newsletter. And LinkedIn has an algorithm that everyone you connect with, it'll automatically recommend that they subscribe to your newsletter. Now, I don't recommend you just sit there and do nothing with it. I recommend once they subscribe to it, you use that as an instant saying, hey, saw you subscribed. Thank you so much. And then you start a conversation. It should be authentic. Don't make it automated. This is your opportunity for you to dig in. This is the second one. And then my third one, and this is for kind of geeks. Like this might be for me, you, Sammy, and like 20 other people listen to this. But when you apply for creator status on LinkedIn, you can start doing live streams on LinkedIn. And this is insane, like A+ level to get to that level. But you can do it really quickly. Is that will mean if you start a podcast similar to what you have here, or you have some other type of mastermind where you guys want to share or build in public or talk about your mission in public, or if you wanted to even train about your nonprofit in public or do a board meeting or something like that, you could do this in live stream. And that means everybody you're connected to, when you go live, will get a notification on it. And that is insane because they're doing all the LinkedIn's doing all the marketing work for you.
Yeah. That alone is like the most amount of goodness that I've heard in a long time. So many good things. And yes, I have started doing a live stream this year for the first time ever on LinkedIn. So I'm excited to kind of see how that goes once a month. But I had not ever thought about taking these podcast episodes and publishing them as live streams on LinkedIn as well. So now you've given me something to think about. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And you, if you get a little nicer tool, you can take these recordings and then just publish them and make them look like they're live. And nobody cares, right? If they don't watch this on YouTube, the fact they're going to like it on LinkedIn, they don't feel like they're getting old content. This is fantastic.
Well, we use a tool called StreamYard, so we can
it'll work
publish videos as live. And I think the important thing there, as we kind of jump into how can we use video on LinkedIn, the beautiful part about that is you don't have to be worried about being perfect. This podcast, we don't do a ton of editing, but there is some editing that goes into it. But we don't have to worry about being perfect because we can update it. But you can still show up live and engage and interact with people during the live stream. So as you talk about authenticity and connection, you can publish a live video to Facebook, to LinkedIn, but still be there engaging and interacting and only focusing on that part of the live stream versus having to talk to people and connect with people in the chat.
Yeah. And kind of to piggyback off, the perfection, I think progress over perfection. And I actually think imperfection is a close cousin of authenticity, of being genuine, of being vulnerable. So in 2021 to 23, with my podcast, I started to get invited to conventions, state conventions, national conventions for the client that I was working with in the healthcare space. And not only would they ask me to do a speech on the main stage, sometimes I would do a live interview on the main stage and I would stream it on LinkedIn. And the amount of people like cousins and sisters and aunts and coworkers who could watch this, who couldn't go to the convention, the virality of that in the live time of it was way more impactful than anything I did on a podcast. So like think big and let LinkedIn do the heavy lift for you.
I love that. Okay, so let's talk about, because I don't think we often think about LinkedIn as a video platform. We think about Instagram Reels, we think about TikTok, we think about YouTube. What kind of video capabilities does LinkedIn have? Let's start there. And then let's kind of talk through how we can kind of repurpose those in other places where we're doing business.
Yeah. Well, for starters, in my opinion, LinkedIn is starting to compete with YouTube Shorts. If you look at your LinkedIn app on your cell phone, more than likely it's already been rolled out to you. There is now one of 4 little buttons at the bottom, and one is video. That is the equivalent of YouTube Shorts without people falling on bicycles without kids throwing footballs at their dad's crotch and making them roll over on a Saturday night. It doesn't
No
have
dancing.
as much. Yeah, there's not there's goofiness because I'm goofy, right? But there's not the politics of YouTube. There's not the Mr. Beast of flash, 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 highly edited impact. There's much more conversations and like getting into the life and understanding how someone thinks. And as a professional influencer, right? Different than a social influencer. I'm not a social influencer, but as a professional influencer, LinkedIn gives you that window. And I would even say, or there's two other elements to kind of video, which is when you are on LinkedIn and you're trying to reach out to your community and grow your reach, you kind of have a couple different goals or objectives, tactical objectives when someone's scrolling, which is to get them to stop to read what it is that you've just posted. Secondly, is click on the read more so they read your post. And in the best setting, click on your video. Now, the video is not a must, but it will help the engagement. And LinkedIn, in my opinion, is competing with YouTube. So they are pushing videos hard and they are giving some extra weight to that algorithm.
Yeah. Well, so that's a benefit. And also the benefit of video building trust. Like, that's why we turn this podcast into a video podcast. Like, yes, it's great to hear us, but to see people, to see how you're engaging with the community, to see how you're showing up, the behind the scenes, like to see that visual also helps nonprofits build trust a lot faster with people that might kind of come across them.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm currently doing with the community foundation that I participate in, we just hired an executive director about 3 months ago. And when we hired her, we got so many emails and replies on Facebook from people saying, you just made the best decision that you could ever do. And we said, you just took the ambassador from our community and you put it into your organization. Congratulations, hats off to you. Well, one of the things we're doing with her, right? There's a bunch of websites and news and Facebook pages from high schools and shelters and mission-driven causes. Well, we're having her take that from people who might not be good at the internet, share it, comment on it, and turn it into a LinkedIn newsletter and also turn it into a video. Well, she's the face of our county. So she's doing a great job of repurposing all the good that's already happening. And she's using it on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about, I do want to jump into newsletters here in a little bit because I'm a huge fan of them, but I do want to talk about, like, as you're doing that and creating that, you mentioned she's doing that for some organizations that might not have the capacity or know how to do that. How polished, it's LinkedIn, it's businesses. How polished do we have to be? How formal, how produced do our videos need to be? Or can we just kind of pick up our phone and in the moment share something of value that we think our audience might hear about and not worry about the bells and whistles?
I would say 100% of the time, do not worry about being polished. Okay. People are attracted to people, not companies. People are attracted to people, sometimes brands, but more than likely, people want to hear your personality. So don't worry about it. And I always remember the amount of times that I failed doing live things. So I did live television on Monday for the US presidential inauguration for CNN. I've done a whole bunch of live things. And I always remember there's only one person who's watching you with full attention. It's your mom. And there's only one person who's going to watch it and remember all of your mistakes, and it's your ex. So everybody else is going to forgive you. And the people who are going to like or laugh and they're going to tease you and they're going to love you and they're going to remember it for how great you are and how authentic you are. And if I die tomorrow, I would rather my son remember me for my quirks and my effort than for me trying to be perfect and never doing anything.
Yeah. That's so good. And I think it just brings down that barrier of entry. Like, it's not about you look at, I love your background. I aspire to be like, grown up like you one day. I don't have the energy in me to unpack my office these days. And so it looks like a hot mess, but that doesn't mean that I don't show up, because it's more about the quality of the content that you're sharing and reaching the right audience. So I love that you said 100% of the time, just show up. I think that's fantastic. Okay, so
I want to add one free tool to your question about how polished you have to be. There's a tool that I just started using this morning, and it's free so far, and it's talkclip.app. TALK app or sorry, talkclip.app. And what it does is you put in the topic that you want to talk about, you hit record, and it asks you a question about the topic. And then it reads you a hook that you should start off with. It says, "Are you ready?" You say, click record again, and then it counts down to 5. And then you record looking at your TV and looking at your computer, and it will give you that short little clip from LinkedIn. And it's authentic, it gives you the hook, it asks you the question. You don't feel awkward talking to a camera because there's actually a voice and it asks you to test it. And you don't have to post it if you don't like it.
Yeah. That's cool. So it's like being interviewed, but not by anybody, which makes us feel more natural, right?
It does, yeah. I actually listen to the voice. Like, you could just read it. I have it read me the voice because I feel like I'm talking to somebody.
That's cool. That's super cool. We'll have to try that out. Had not heard of that one. Okay, but let's talk about repurposing, because I think as with all of our social media channels, whatever you're on, it's not about creating new, it's about creating for the platform. And I think that's what I love as far as the newsletters go. Super easy. I myself have a newsletter on LinkedIn, and I find that my email subscribers organically grow so much faster on my LinkedIn newsletter than in my general newsletter. And I just want to reiterate, like you said, I love that I know who is subscribing, and not only that, I can dive deep into who they are and see if they're, like the right fit for somebody I want to reach out to. Yeah. So I just take my newsletter and copy it and embed it onto LinkedIn on a different day. I include videos, I include additional resources and things like that. But kind of, what is your favorite thing, or what are your tips if you're setting up a newsletter on LinkedIn for the first time? How might we want to go about it in order to repurpose the content we already have?
Yeah, so it's not 100% related to repurposing, but it's an added value on to what I'm already doing. So I would do exactly what you're doing, which is repurpose what I'm doing on my website, repurpose what I'm doing on my email. If I have a Facebook group, repurposing some of the content. The two things that I have done in the last year with my clients that has had really good success actually three things. So the first thing I do is I look ahead for conventions and trade shows inside the niche that I am speaking to. And I go find those keynote speakers, and I look for events that are about 9 to 12 months out, because that's when people start planning if they're going to go to a specific trade show. I find the keynote speaker, I put them in my newsletter, I tag them, and I say, go check out this trade show. It's on this date in this city. This keynote speaker is given to talk about this. Shout outs. And the keynote speaker will get a mention in LinkedIn. They'll see it, they'll subscribe, and then they will reshare, and they might send you a DM. Trust me, it works. I would say out of the last 100 times that I've tagged somebody, I get it shared probably 15% of the time. I get a DM 75% of the time, and I get a comment from that person 95% of the time. The second thing that works is I like to share job descriptions to people that would be reading the newsletter that would be helpful to. So I'll go find somebody that I want their attention. I would like to have a conversation with them. I will go find what their need is, similar to posting them about the upcoming keynote speech. I will find a job that they will do. I will tag their job description in the newsletter. I will tag them saying, this person is hiring. This is a cool company. I've followed this person. I've seen their YouTube. I like their podcast. Check it out. The person will do the exact same thing. They'll share, they'll DM you, and then they will comment on it. And then the third one that I wanted to mention, and this takes a little bit more work, like if you're a one-man or one-woman show, it's more of a sales development rep. So like if you're working in a place where you need to actually start a conversation with that person, I will immediately DM this person who's subscribed, and I'll say, hey, you signed up. This is fantastic. Can I ask you what brought over your attention? Can I interview you? Can I give you a quote? Hey, these are the 3 things that I help out with. I share trade shows, I help people job postings, and I do X, Y, and Z. Can I do one of these for you? And it's a great icebreaker.
That's brilliant. What I love about that is it's value add to your audience and helping you grow and get in front of new audiences. So it's like a win-win-win all around, and a great way to kind of organically show up in people's feeds. And that's the power of LinkedIn.
Right? Like
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
newsletter, if I write about you today, the likelihood of you hearing that I'm giving you a shout out and trying to help you is minimal, right? Unless somebody in my audience is a friend with you, there's no way you're going to know. I'm competing against spam and everybody's inbox, but
Mhm.
on LinkedIn, you're immediately going to know and you're going to like, Peter helped me today.
Yeah. And I'll add on to that. What I do in my newsletter is we share our podcast episodes. We embed our YouTube video link. But then we also include 3 related podcast episodes that might be beneficial based off of the one that we just launched. So when we launch this one, we'll probably tag some of the other guests that we've had on for past LinkedIn episodes. And so similarly, we'll retag the people that were guests. And a lot of times we get them to reshare past episodes to their audience as well, because they're reminded, oh, yeah, I was on that podcast. I can share that as something for my audience. Or similarly, they comment or engage with that post. So I think that's the beauty. And that's not new content I have to create. That's content we've already created, but we're just trying to drive more traffic and eyeballs to new audiences for stuff that we've already pushed out. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many things you can do in a LinkedIn newsletter, from sharing video, embedding video, sharing resources, tagging people. The sky's the limit.
Yeah. And by the time this episode comes out, and then 30 days after it comes out, and 90 days after it comes out, all of the things that we're talking about right now are going to be substantially better, right? Like 2 years ago, I spent 20 to 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn. Today, I'm
Mhm.
spending 2 hours a day on LinkedIn. That's why the product and the platform has gotten better. There's a chance that 9 months from now, I'm going to spend 3 hours on it. It's getting that much better.
Mhm. Yeah. So, how can we take the content? Because I know LinkedIn also has, like, I think they still have an audio feature where you can go live via audio, but that doesn't get saved. Video can be repurposed depending on the third party tool that you're using. So, kind of, do you have any tips for how, if LinkedIn is our home base where we're creating the bulk of our content, how we can feel like we can repurpose that for other platforms? Should we be repurposing that video content and content we're creating on other platforms? Like, what are your best practices there?
Yeah, what I'm currently doing that is repurposing. Sometimes it goes to LinkedIn and then it goes back and it goes somewhere else. It's usually starting with I'll give you my workflow and then tell you how it gets off LinkedIn. I am doing a significant amount of podcasts like I am now. I'll cut that up and I'll use these clips on LinkedIn. The second thing I'm doing 2 to 5 consultancy calls per week with paying clients. And I'm doing 2 to 5 per week with pro bono, people that I help out on platforms like growthmentor.com. And I am recording those calls. If it's with a client, it's confidential, or with a pro bono and it's confidential, I take the person's name out, but that becomes a prompt for something that I will then write about.
Mhm.
What problem was I helping them? Okay. The thing I'm doing from a PR point of view is, so I run a marketing agency and I have a PR team behind me who's doing lots of pitching on podcasts and press and on an ongoing basis. We're taking those clips and we're moving those over to a tool that I love called Q Promote, QUU Promote. And that's about $50 a month. But what that's telling me to do, and they're sharing it across all the platforms: Meta, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so forth. And it's telling me the metrics of who clicked and who shared. Whatever's successful, I am then taking a screenshot of the views and the clicks and so forth, and I'm turning that into an ad, and I put it in my email
Mm.
newsletter. So they give social proof, but it all starts from LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is, I have a targeted way to talk to my ideal customer profile, and I'm getting feedback. So I'll take statistics. I'll take statistics of publishing 30 days in a row. What are the 3 to 5 things that did the best organically? Then I'll move that over to something on Q Promote. Q Promote will then amplify it to people who don't know me. Those best things I then turn into ads.
Yeah. I like, though, that you start with the organic piece of it, because I think there are things that, if you're smaller, you're just starting out, or you can still do that without the Q Promote piece. That
Mm-hmm.
can be kind of like the next level. But I think for even for nonprofit organizations, even if you distill it down to the very basic level of, I'm going to pay attention to what's performing really well for 30 days. And that's what I'm going to use to generate what my next content plan is for the next month, and what I repurpose and where I reshare, right? Just to better use your time and efforts to be like, okay, well, I thought this was going to be awesome. that did not land. This did awesome. I'm going to do more of that. Like, I think paying attention to that and getting out of your own way creatively can be super helpful.
I agree. And going back to ads, but specifically for nonprofits, the nonprofits that I work with, all of them have Google grants. We help them get Google grants.
Mhm.
So that is a lot of money every single month that you can be using for free. So what I'm learning from organically on LinkedIn or from Q Promote, then that turns into the strategy of how we're building out content to take advantage of our free $10,000 for Google grant.
Yep. Yep. And if you want more on the Google rant, I'll just throw this plug in here. We did just do an episode. So go back to episode 290 and we talk about getting started with Google Grants. So you can learn a little bit more about that. But I 100% agree. It is such an important resource for nonprofits and can give you so much great data. So I love that you brought that, because it's surprising how many organizations don't know that it exists.
I think that's the majority. The people I talk to,
Yeah.
I'm blown away. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like $10,000 a month for free. Okay. So creating video, pay attention to your mobile app. I know as of this recording, we are recording in January, but this episode doesn't go live for a little bit. I have access to watch the videos. I don't have access to upload videos necessarily in that kind of format. So pay attention to that. Newsletters. But like, as we think about kind of content in our main news feed, if we are on our desktop more often, what does that look like? What might we want to think about types of content, or is it the same as what we would create in kind of the short style that is on the mobile device?
I'm going to give kind of a sophisticated, comprehensive strategy, right? So, like, if this overwhelms you, don't worry. Just listen to the first part. I have an entire funnel built out for what I do in LinkedIn that is thinking usually 30 to 60 days out. And
Yeah.
I approach it similar to the way that I approach YouTube. So about 30 to 60% of my posts are around discoverability, which means that the people at the top of my funnel who don't know who I am, don't know what I do, don't know how I can help them, don't know what my value is to them and why we should be communicating. I do the almost exact same thing with YouTube, depending on where my client's stage is, their maturation. So for me, right, like, I'm a fractional chief marketing officer. That is bottom of funnel. That is me selling something to you where I promise to give you return on investment. That is less than 5% of anything that I'm talking about on LinkedIn. It's less than 5% of things I'm talking about on YouTube. Top of funnel is things that I can do to help you without you ever having to talk about money with me. I'm really good at scaling teams. I'm really good at remote tools. I'm really good at LinkedIn, right? Like, I don't sell anything related to LinkedIn. Nobody hires me to do anything like what I'm sharing like this. So these are things that I give away. That's top of funnel. And then my strategy moves down to bottom of funnel, closer to what I do, right? The services that I help out people. So that might be podcast pitching, PR, branding, documentary, content creation, all the way down. And that is how I build it out. Now, I don't believe that strategy is impacted by your question around desktop nor mobile. That's probably the difference between me not being a LinkedIn expert and being hired by LinkedIn to teach people how to do it. Maybe that's the next ninth to go to Malcolm Gladwell's book of 10,000 hours. maybe that's the next 9,800 hours that I need to put into it. But that's my strategy, and it's working right now.
But I think that's great, because that removes the barrier. It's like, just get started, and wherever you are playing, if you're on your device or you're on desktop, wherever you feel comfortable. It's not, again, going back to what we said earlier, it's not about the professional, like, polished stuff. It's just about doing stuff and getting started and experimenting and seeing what works and what doesn't. So I think that's the perfect answer. Okay, well, you've given people a lot of things to think about. We have so many different strategies that we can implement on LinkedIn. Point is, get started. Any kind of last tip or takeaway or something you wish you would have done differently that you might want to leave listeners with as we kind of wrap this up?
I have two people for you to go follow. And I think that if you just follow them and you look at them every single day, click on the little bell at the top to get notified every single time that they share something. One, that is close to the nonprofit space, and he is a big impact on my life. He's a mentor. He's one of the reasons I became a certified nurse's aide. He's one of the reasons I started doing documentaries about long-term care. His name is Bob Spielman. Speelman. He is not an expert in LinkedIn. He is probably 5 to 10 years older than me. So he's 50 to 55 probably. And he is just great at LinkedIn. All he does is sing people's praises. He uploads a kind video, and he exercises the book 5 Languages of Love to share his passion for people that are in America's nursing homes. And he did this with zero experience 2 years ago. I don't think he's ever taken a LinkedIn class. He's just genuinely good at it. So just follow what he does. Put it in ChatGPT. Tell the person, say ChatGPT, I love this person. Her name is Sammy. She helps everybody. Translate this into my words so it doesn't look like Bob, and then go post it. Copy Bob's skill. The second person, when you're ready to get the next level, and she's my favorite person on LinkedIn. Her name is Alana Sparrow, Salana, Sparrow, Sparro. I look at her LinkedIn profile every single day. I just try to emulate everything and imitate everything that she's doing. Those are my 2 tips. You don't need to take a course. Just go follow the 2 people. The bottom rung, the person who is 50-ish and kicking butt, and then a pro who's selling LinkedIn tips. And I don't think you need anything else.
I love that. That's so good. Because I think the beauty of it is we don't have to reinvent the wheel. See what people are doing and then figure out how to show up in your own voice, in your own way, your own style, right? I think that's fantastic. Well, we will link all of those resources up and those profiles in the show notes at thefirstclick.net/295. But Peter, if people want to connect with you, check out your LinkedIn profile because they should also be following you as well. How do they do that?
Peter Murphy Lewis. As I mentioned, it's the platform that I don't open Facebook every day. I haven't opened Instagram in a couple months. So let's talk on LinkedIn. Peter Murphy Lewis. I am the only Peter Murphy Lewis on LinkedIn. And then lastly, if this resonates with you, you're a nonprofit and you like the story, I'd ask you to go watch a documentary that I just did in the nonprofit space, in the long-term care space on YouTube. It's called People Worth Caring About. It's already won some awards. And, if you know somebody who could make an impact in long-term care, or anything I talked about today resonate with you, go watch it, send it to a 15-year-old who could be a CNA. I'm motivated to help America's seniors. And so let's connect on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom. And we will make sure we get all of your stuff shared out to our community. And thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
Okay, wow. Peter was dropping so many good ideas and strategies. I can't even believe it. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And again, you can find all of the things that he mentioned at thefirstclick.net/295. Can you believe we are getting so close to our 300th episode? I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that you are jumping on to LinkedIn, and we will also include in the resources other episodes that we have around LinkedIn, especially episode 290 that we just did, talking about just LinkedIn and how to get started and, how to create your personal brand. I'm sorry, not 290. I'm lying. Episode 289 with Alex Thorick. So check it out. Create your personal brand on LinkedIn. Take these strategies from Peter Murphy Lewis to really take them to the next level. And I can't wait to see what you do with LinkedIn. For now, make sure you subscribe wherever you listen, hit that notification bell, and leave us a review if you're on Apple Podcasts. Would love to see it there. And I will see you in the next episode.